Well, I was born in January 1935. I was born in Warsaw.
My mother was called Maria. My father was called Jacob. My mother's maiden name was Arabczyk, which, by the way, is derivative from Arab. Well, my father was very, very opinionated. He was very religious as a child. He broke up with religion and he was sort of terribly against religion. But he had an older sister and she got involved with revolutionary movement. For him, the socialist or communist ideas became like a religion. Some people didn't like him because they thought that he was too much on the left. So it was a happy, very free household. We used to have quite a lot of my parents' friends coming for Sundays.
And that pretty much continued until the Second World War started.
My first memory of war, 1st of September, are planes coming on and bombing, and this was, I think they bombed Jewish orphanage.
When the Germans occupied Poland, we left most of the stuff. We went towards Soviet Union.
My father paid some guy to come and to guide us through the border.
We traveled in cattle trains because there was no other way of traveling.
We went to this place called Gryazne nie Voronezh.
Voronezh is a big city in the center of Soviet Union.
They gave us a room, allocated us a room with a Russian family.
I learned Russian.
In 1941, 22nd of June, Germans invaded Russia. Again, back to the cattle train, and off we went. I don't know how long it took. We lost my father several times on the way.
Well, it was very cold, but I got used to it.
It was a hard time because we didn't have money to eat. So my father managed to take me to school a year ahead so that I get fed. The Germans were advancing. You know, the whole country was on the move. People everywhere, people losing everybody.
We left Siberia and went to Asia, part of Soviet Union.
By different trains, by hook or by crook, again, losing dead a few times on the way, we found ourselves in Central Asia. We were desperately poor, we were hungry, people were very friendly.
They were very good to us.
We had the same problems as everybody else in Russia in those days, but nothing more specific. I was more aware in those days that I have to keep my mouth shut and not say things that go on at home about having family here or there. It was more frightening, sort of, because of the terror, Stalin terror.
This is an interesting thing. We've been through the war. I went through the war, and we've never seen Germans.
We got again to cattle trains near Iran to Poland.
They had only a vague idea what happened to everybody who was left in the ghetto.
We suspected that something terrible is happening, but there was no communication, no nothing.
Grandparents, siblings, all those people, they all perished.
I was extremely upset when I found that a lot of my family were killed by Germans.
The policy of the government then in Poland was to put Jews into newly reclaimed areas that used to be German.
We went where we could and where they would accept us.
And we eventually got papers to go to Venezuela with transit in Paris.
I went to school to many different places, and Paris was one of them.
And at the same time, French government, French police did not really want us to settle there. We got again repatriated back to Poland, back in cattle train, and my brother was in a suitcase.
I mean, the suitcase was open.
We settled in Wrocław.
I think we were the only Jews in the street, actually.
I did not feel the terror. There was terror, you know, people were put in jails and so on, but I was oblivious to it.
I always wanted to help the country.
I was very happy.
So Stalin was like a god.
That is basically what guided my life.
In those days, people believed that future of the world is technology.
I studied engineering.
I studied first year in Wrocław, and then I passed well the exams and I went to Warsaw.
And I met this guy and fell in love, and that was it.
It was a traditional Catholic family and they made me very welcome, and I always remember that. The situation became then in Poland that a lot of Jews felt very unhappy and wanted to emigrate.
We decided to come to Australia.
We thought we'll give it a go, we'll get some experience, we'll see my parents settling down and we'll come back.
We definitely finished up in the right place.
I got a job in engineering.
You know, I'm Jewish and there's no doubt about it. I look Jewish, my family say that I behave Jewish, but I definitely put a difference between this and religion. I don't have any religion.
I think we had a good life. We had a holiday house, we had children, we loved our children.
We don't really have very great differences because I believe it's a matter of upbringing rather than any race or color or anything. If people have more or less the same way of thinking, share the same problems from the beginning, share the ideology and beliefs, I believe that one can really manage to be a good marriage. That's about all.
We were very close, very, very close indeed. I loved him and I think he loved me. And that was life.